comfortable.
Hey, everyone. Yes, it's Dr. Tamar Beckford with Your Curing Docs. That's right. That's where we help all our professional women, especially our busy professional women, put themselves first for at least 2 hours a month. Why? 730 hours in a month. You can dedicate 2 to yourselves, right? Today, we are going to go over something very important that a lot of people really don't think about, right? I am bringing one of my friends from across the pond. So now you're probably wondering, like, why are we a little late? Well, I woke him up, told him to get ready and jump online, right? No. Alrighty, so let me bring in our doc in one of our best Your Caring Docs fashion, right? So this doctor, he is a graduate of medicine from the Imperial College of London, St. Mary's Hospital Medical School, right? Then, for those of you guys don't know, this doc not only did medicine, then guess what? He went to law school, right? That's right. So this doc is also a graduate of the Nottingham Law School. And then after that, he's like, nah, I need to know more about people. How can I help, right? Then he went to Australia. And he is a graduate of Australian Institute of Professional Coaches. He's trained in life, leadership, and executive coaching, right? So our doc has a passion for helping you to achieve your goals quickly, right? And he's also very passionate about doctors and other professionals suffering in toxic environments. He provides them with the tools, skills to help to deal with the situations so that they can lead happier, healthier, and more successful lives, especially at work. I'm talking about the one, the only, Dr. Adam Harrison.
I love that. I love the canned applause.
Round of applause. That's right. Thank you for getting up, getting out of bed, download it. We had a little technical difficulty because he's over in the UK, and we got everything situated now, and we're here and we're happy, right?
Yeah.
All right. So
Very
now,
happy.
Now that I've gotten you all relaxed, we're gonna dig in and find out more about you, right? Alrighty. So, Dr. Harrison, we want to know, what made you go into medicine in the first place? Tell us.
Firstly, thanks so much for having me. As usual, it's an absolute honor. And thanks for bearing with me with my technical difficulties. You're quite right. I just had to download Google Chrome because Macs just want to do their own thing, don't they? So what can you do? Yeah, that's how they roll. Yeah. Medicine. Yeah, I guess when I was about 13, I was kind of torn between human medicine and veterinary medicine.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went and did some work experience in a local hospital when I was 16, and that kind of cemented being a human doc for me. And I guess at that stage, it was all about, I was good at science. I was interested in science. I liked people, the usual kind of stuff that people who apply to med school come up with. I like working with people, helping people, communicating with people, that kind of stuff. So it was a good marriage of science and wanting to help people, I guess.
Wonderful. So now you did all of that and you're helping. And then you jumped to the other side of the track and went to law school. So how did that come about?
Yeah, some might say the dark side if you're a doctor.
You're in medicine, right? Yeah. If you're in law, you're like, you came to the lights.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's true. That's a good reframing there, Dr. Beckford. Well, I'd kind of, I felt I'd kind of gone as far as I could go in medicine. I was a qualified family physician, and I was I'd always been interested in law and kind of the healthcare law and so on over the years. I kept revisiting it, but I had student debts. I could never afford to, commit to leaving medicine and going to law school. So opportunity arose to work for an organization that represents doctors, but you don't have to be legally qualified. And I went to work for them, and that was great. But then when the cases were really interesting, you had to hand it on to the lawyers. And Yeah, exactly. I was like frustrated. I guess I'm a bit of a completer finisher, and I was like, no, I want to be the one who sorts things out at the end rather than handing it on. So yeah, that's why I went to law school, and yeah, qualify, was called to the bar. But yeah, for various reasons, including, you know, kind of my wife's career and us having a newborn, I decided not to pursue it in work terms. But I qualified and used it to go into other stuff. It was a really useful qualification to go into other things.
Wonderful, wonderful. So when you say qualified, over here in the US, we might think of it differently than we do in UK. So tell us what qualified means.
So as in, I kind of passed the bar exams.
Yes, there we go. That's what we understand. Qualified for us meant that you were good enough to take it. But we want to know, did you take it? Yes, you took it, and you passed it. Wonderful.
But then, you know, you either have to go into a law firm or go into what's called a barrister's chambers and start at the bottom like an intern. And it was kind of like going through that process. It was, you know, a big kind of financial, well, even pre-residency, you know, and it was a big financial drop. And having a newborn, you know how expensive they are, you know, those little, you know,
all the time.
Travel systems and things, you know, they're all expensive. So there you go.
Absolutely. So wonderful, wonderful. So now you've done all of this, you know, you've done medicine. You actually started from the bottom in medicine, made your way up, and then you went into law, and then, you know, you passed the bar and you're like now deciding, and you know, so you continued working in medicine, and then you saw this opportunity to go even further and to help people further, not just in medicine, but in medicine and in life. And you decided, so you saw this thing on the horizon, which was this, you know, this coaching school. What made you decide that, like, hey, coaching is something that's important and I want to go ahead and get those skills?
So I guess I use the legal qualification and obviously as being a practicing doctor to fish around for things I could do with both of those bodies of knowledge and skill sets. And I approached various organizations locally to me and said, you know, can you do anything with someone with my skill set? You know, I like to do some advocacy for you, representation of local doctors, etc., etc. So I ended up kind of getting leadership positions. So I got an assistant medical director position, which was involved in the kind of discipline and regulation of doctors, that side of things. And I went to work for the local medical committee and was doing kind of representation work for them, for their local doctors who were having to go to tribunals and things like that. So that's, you know, I was kind of using some legal stuff, but I, you know, inadvertently got into these leadership positions, and then I kind of progressed through the organizations and, you know, got, you know, more senior positions and so on. And it was when I was, you know, working as an assistant medical director that I was offered some leadership coaching myself. And I was like, yes, please. We'll I mean, I was a pretty rubbish leader, you know, well, you know,
that you hadn't just, you were qualified on paper, but those skill set, right? So was it the what portion would you say that you realized, like, wow, coaching really helped me with this particular portion of the skill set?
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, we all know, and I think it's, you know, I coach a lot of American physicians, and I think it's the same in the States, that there's no room in the medical curriculum for leadership training, among other things, you know, entrepreneurship, well-being, all of these things. There's loads of gaps in the curriculum, really. It's all very focused on the medical side. So, you know, I was just not trained and not prepared to go into a leadership role, and, you know, kind of lacking in mentorship as well. And when I had the coaching, it just kind of made me realize, you know, how badly prepared I was and how much more there was to the world of leadership, you know. And I think for me, I know it sounds really cheesy, but it was life-changing. It was a life-changing moment, you know, was when my coach gave me a survey to do about values, about your values. And it was just like someone had taken the blinkers off, and I could see clearly, and it was like, oh yeah, okay, this is why, these are my values, and this is the kind of system I'm working in, and the people I'm working with, and they don't seem to be in alignment, you know. And that's probably why I'm unhappy. And I was still doing a bit of medical practice, and I decided to do a bit of coaching training myself before the Australian adventure, and I just thought, actually, you know what, I could make a lot more of a difference in the world and in people's lives if I'm coaching than what I was doing with the medical side, you know. I just felt I had more to give, and that I could be more impactful in the world than just kind of tinkering around the edges, you know, giving people medications that they request, and or you know, because they're going to argue with you otherwise, and you know how it is.
Absolutely. So wonderful. So now, you know, you're in the space in coaching and leadership coaching, and then, you know, one of the things that you and I've discussed, you know, so I've known Adam for a while, so, you know, he's my brother. Over in the UK, wherever he travels, he's still my brother. UK, Australia, New Zealand. I find him and I'm like, hey, how you doing? And we're discussing things, right? So one of the things that we discussed is how important coaching is to not just leaders, to everyone. And you're realizing that there are other prominent people out there with coaches that people are not really thinking about, right?
Yeah.
And how important coaching is in revealing like the better part of you. So let's, you know, talk about, you even remember that video that you sent about like the World Bank leader. Let's talk about that. Like,
no, I love talking about this. And I love you know, signposting people to this video, and hopefully you can share the video link as well. It's like
I'll put it in our notes.
Awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it's not even a 2-minute snippet. It's just under 2 minutes. So it's to me, it was you know, 2 minutes that kind of changed my view and my perception as well. So it's a really powerful kind of 2 minutes to spend 2 minutes of your life, really. And I recently thought about it again because another joint friend of ours, Marlene Worcester-Smith, who's the founding editor of Physician Outlook magazine over there, she, her and Dr. Roxanne Bruce, who her managing editor, I think, asked me to do an article for the coaching edition of the magazine. So because I'm a, you know, kind of like a bit of pre-senile dementia, I'm not going to be able to remember all this. I'm just going to read a little.
Pre-senile.
Maybe I've just got too much going on in my life, and I can't remember stuff. But I'll never. Yeah, exactly. Too many balls, definitely. But I'll just read out this little snippet because I'll never remember it, and it's quite nice. So I wrote in this article, as I've coached my clients, predominantly US-based attending physicians from all specialties, I've come to realize that coaching not only helps us achieve our goals in a shorter time frame than if we try to achieve them on our own, but it helps us maintain a standard of personal and professional excellence beyond the attainment of those goals long into the future. In other words, it helps us become and stay our best selves. Dr. Jim Kim, president of the World Bank and former physician, put it way better than I ever could when explaining why every leader needs a coach. And this is what he said: anyone can get better. And if the best people in the world at what they're doing, like Tiger Woods and Atul Gawande, are getting coaching, then everyone should. And just the notion that anyone can get better, including me, might be the first and maybe most important step you take in actually being a better leader. And for me, that was just, you know, mind blown kind of moment.
I think because like one of the parts of it too is the fact that he says like opening your mind to it. Because I mean, I'll say 5 or so years ago when people said, oh, you know, coaching, you really think about coaching and you're like, oh, the athletes have coaches.
Yeah.
That's nice. But you know, someone's like, okay, coaching for the life. And you're like, well, how is someone going to tell me about my life? Right. That's the closed-mindedness about it.
Yeah.
But even in that powerful leader, he says, even with coaching, you know, he does. I mean, I don't want to give away all of the video. It's great, but it's,
Yeah.
a part of it is like, even with you within your profession, just getting someone there who can coach you.
Yeah.
It just elevates you. Even if you're at the top, there's still a little bit further that you can go. So if you close your mind to it, then that's half the battle, right?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, part of that is we're not the finished article. We're never going to be the finished article. So there's always room for improvement. But even when you're kind of like near your best, you're near the pinnacle, the coaching helps you maintain that excellence. Even if it's taken you, up a trajectory, once you get to that, kind of plateau, if you stop the coaching, then you'll just go down again, the curve will go down again. So,
and then also you probably made it that way to the top, but sometimes you might not know why or how.
Yeah, no, that's very true. And that's where, the other, not just the kind of personal and professional development, but the other insights, like what are your values and things like that, what are your leadership styles and other stuff comes in. And you quite rightly talked about life. Well, why are they going to tell me about my life? Well, the most basic level of life coaching, you can work through something called a wheel of life with your clients, and it's kind of the most common ones are a circle split off into 8 segments, with kind of like family, money and career and friendships, and 8 different areas. And actually it's a really powerful exercise just to look at that and just go, well, these are 8 kind of broad areas of my life, and what am I going to score them out of 10 in terms of how satisfied I feel about them at the moment. And there's always an improvement to be made in some of those areas. And it's not we're not telling people to do anything. I mean, that's kind of mentoring. And I think in the what you referred to when we were talking about Dr. Kim, and he talks about Atul Gawande and how someone was watching him operate. And
okay, you can give it away. I don't want to give it away.
I just wanted to say I think that's kind of mentoring in a way rather than coaching, and Marshall Goldsmith I think coaches Jim Kim. But with coaching, we are just helping people find solutions or achieve goals, not really telling them, so.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the important aspects I think of coaching is that not only are you providing the insight, you're helping them to find the insight, I should say. That's the best way.
Yeah.
But also you will realize what you value and what you might have thought was top priority might not be so much, right? Because your balance, you start to find the balance within your life, or what you want to do in order to achieve the balance. What does your balance look like? And where you're starting now versus where you'd like to be. So so family might be the utmost importance. Or you might say that, and then you start writing down and you realize well, I say family is so important, but I've been putting them last on my list, So is that why you've been feeling unhappy? So it really brings in. And then when you start to adjust aspects of your life to put what's important, ahead. And when those decisions come up, and you have to decide, well, this or that, and you really sit and say, well, my value system says, you realize you feel so much better.
That's a beautiful observation, Dr. B. It's a real soul searching process, and you have to really find time to deeply reflect and put aside time before your sessions with the coach, to do your homework, but then be very kind of open and transparent. That's why the relationship between the coach and the client is so vital. Not every, it's at the end of the day, it's a relationship between 2 humans, and 2 humans don't always get along, or they get along all right, but it's not kind of like going to be like fireworks, but but you need a really good relationship between the coach and the client to that trust. You've got to have that trust, because absolutely. The coach has to hold safe space, and the client has to be assured that it's a confidential and it is safe before they can disclose anything of any importance that can help them move beyond the obstacles, you know. And you talked about values again, and that, you know, that's so important, because a lot of the way we make decisions is just kind of spur of the moment, kind of knee jerk, you know, and that's not always in alignment with your values. But then when you, and I suppose we all kind of know what our values are, as in,
right,
if you're faced with a certain situation, like maybe something at work where someone asks you to do something that doesn't sit right with you. Yeah. It's not ethically, it feels off to you. You know, you get that feeling, that kind of like in the pit of your stomach, you know, this is, I just don't want to do this, you know. And it's just because it's, you know, it's not in alignment with your values. And we all know that. We all have this inherent moral compass that's set to different levels for all of us. But, you know, it's really nice to have that explained in terms of, so my core values are like love, humor, justice, equity, fairness, gratitude, this kind of stuff. So it was like written in the stars that I was going to go to law school. I had no idea, because I didn't know what my values were until I was 43. You know, and so now one of the first things I do with clients is like, all right, let's do this values questionnaire, because, you know, it's never too early to know what your values are. I wish I'd known what they were when I was 13 or 23, you know, not 43, but
that's okay, because with all of the additional experiences and finding your way, that trajectory, the compass that you have put together at 43, you're helping those who are 23 and 33 realize, hey, you know, it's so important to figure out these value system. And, you know, what I think is also important is, like we said, we all have that internal moral compass, but when you have it and it's just in the back of your head, that's great. When you have written it out, more recently, it's really in the forefront, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Of your brain. So the decisions you make are so much different.
Yeah.
And it's not that you forget, no, but you make that decision understanding why you made it, right?
Yeah.
Not just the inherent, it feels better. You really like, well, no, this is why I'm making that. And the biggest thing is that you're comfortable. So you right? It's just like you get this level of comfort, like, no, this does not align with my core value, and you move on. And you learn how to move on without constantly questioning yourself. Did I make the right decision? You know, because you're really on firm grounds, because your values are right in front of you.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's definitely, since I became aware of what they are, it's made me think a lot more. And now I won't, you know, do any work with an organization whose values I don't think align with mine, or a person whose values I don't think are in alignment with mine, you know. And it's really helped me get out of that toxic system that I was in the UK health service. And yeah, it's liberating and empowering. It's so empowering. And I'm so much happier.
Right?
You know?
Exactly. That's the importance, right? And what I think is so also important is that you're saying that understanding these values helped you to get out of those situations.
Yeah.
But also, I love the fact that understanding these values have now enabled you to help others who are in those situations, you know. So you're an expert in helping people who are in toxic work environment. Why? Because of the fact that 43, you figured it out.
Yeah. Better late than never, eh?
Better late than ever. So that you can help those who are in toxic work environments and, you know, realize, like, number one, that's probably one of the different factors in your life that's making you unhappy. How can you thrive within this environment? Should you choose to stay, or should you choose to leave, right?
Yeah.
So those of you out there watching this video, you're trying to figure out, yes, this is the expert for you. Dr. Adam Harrison. He helps those who are in toxic work environments. It doesn't matter what level of leadership, professionalism, you know, help you to thrive if you're in those environments. And the different ways how you'll do it is that's your one-on-one coaching and your personalized coaching with Dr. Harrison. Alrighty, Dr. Harrison. So now that I dug real deep in, I'm going to pull it back out. Now I want to know, what do you do to relieve stress? What is your stress reliever? Other than I saw the Harry Potter, taking your daughter to Harry Potter. That was pretty fun.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's like, probably once every 5 years. And I think we need a bit more regular stress relief than that. So it's quite funny because I was interviewed on like a well-being podcast a few months ago, and I would ask a similar question. And I said, well, this is going to sound a little controversial because I know that in well-being circles, kind of watching TV and stuff like that is quite frowned upon. Why do you want to have a screen time and whatever? You should be doing mindfulness and whatever. But I love TV. I love box sets. I love movies. Absolutely love it. So honestly, for me, it's really relaxing. And it may sound a bit paradoxical, but it's quite a mindful experience for me because I literally concentrate on the thing that I'm watching and switch
Can you
off.
predict what's going on?
Yeah.
I do. Me too. I'm the worst person to watch movies with because I've probably seen most of the plots, and I can and I say what the character is about to say before he says it.
Oh, I'm not that good. I mean, you're a maestro, but the good thing about my brain is that then I'll kind of forget, so I can go back and watch a film like 5 years later and like, yep.
How many times?
Yeah. Although I will never forget the ending to Us. That one will stay with me forever. But yeah, I mean, I just kind of, I just find it very immersive, experience for me. And it literally, I forget about all my worries and just properly chilled out when I'm in front of the TV. So that's my main form of stress relief.
Love it. Alrighty, one other question. So if you weren't a doctor, what would you do?
I'm not a leadership coach for doctors and other professionals.
If you weren't a doctor or a leadership coach for doctors, we're going right down the rabbit hole, because I remember one of the other time I asked you this, you gave me this really fascinating.
Yeah. Two things, and it's really hard to go between them. Really, it's a fine. So either a travel journalist who basically gets paid to travel and write reviews on hotels and things. So I just love traveling, and I've been very, very fortunate and blessed to have done a lot of traveling. Even during the pandemic, while most people were stuck in their own countries, we were in Australia and New Zealand, and it's like just so blessed, honestly. So that would be one thing, and the other would be, as kind of probably alluded to, a film critic. Just get paid to sit and watch movies and then write about them. I mean, sitting in a dark room eating popcorn,
sitting in the box office.
love it. Absolutely.
Alrighty, guys. So for all you film critics out there, if you're looking for anyone, we have Dr. Beckford and Dr. Harrison. We both love movies. We've seen a lot of plots. I can probably predict, and he will give us a great critique. So
yeah.
Wonderful. So, we are gonna wrap it up right now. Let us know, where can we find you?
As you know, I hang out and on LinkedIn a lot. So I'm just Dr. Adam Harrison on LinkedIn. And I have a Facebook page, which is Dr. Adam Harrison, Coaching and Mentoring Doctors. And I'm really enjoying my YouTube channel, which is all thanks to our mutual friend, Dr. Una. So that's just Dr. Adam, Physician Coach. And I guess they're my main ones. And Clubhouse. Oh gosh, thank you. Talking about high performance and coaching, kind of enhancing people's performance at work. Myself and a friend and colleague, Dr. Darren Davidson, who's an orthopedist in Seattle, have a Clubhouse club called High Performing Physician, and we meet every Thursday every 2 weeks. So next Thursday, and talk about a lot of wellness and well-being stuff and other strategies to perform at a high level as a doctor, how to recover quickly between shifts and things like that. So yeah, and my email address is just dr.adam@coachingmentoringdoctors.com.
Wonderful, wonderful. All righty, guys. So like I said, all our high performing leaders. Oh, great. So we have someone saying thank you, thank you. We have Dr. Camilla Williams, pardon me. Why am I adding Harrison to that? Dr.
Lovely
Camilla
Dr.
Williams,
Miller.
one of our mutual
Hi.
friends. She says hello. And then we have someone from LinkedIn that's saying hello, Dr. Harrison.
Thank you.
Alrighty, guys. So, all our high performing professionals, we know where you can find someone to help you, especially if you are in a stressful work environment, right? We have Dr. Adam Harrison. And for us busy professional ladies, hello, ladies, busy professional women. Yes, we have our Your Caring Society, which is out, right? So that's our busy professional women help you to put your health and wellness first for at least 2 hours a month. We have a wonderful program put together. We are starting in January. So at this time, yes, we're opening it up for our enrollment in our set. So we are going to help you go through health, wellness, and even sexual health. Yes, I said we have one of the top sexual medicine specialist, urologist, Dr. Rachel Rubin. She's an expert in male and female sexual medicine, probably one of the handfuls in the country, if not the world. And we also have the wonderful Dr. Catherine Toomer, extraordinaire. Yes, that's our TED Talk specialist. Yes, we're talking about health, wellness, and igniting the whole you. It's a wonderful, wonderful program. I've worked very hard to put it together. I'm inviting you all, even our wonderful Dr. Camilla Williams. She'll be part. She's helping you get over difficult situations, right? Thriving through adversities. Her and the wonderful Dr. Andrea Stanata. So for those ladies, busy professional women, ready to reignite and to find your you, right? You've had your head down for almost the entire pandemic. You're looking up, you don't recognize who you are. You're not hanging out with your friends anymore. You're not feeling comfortable within your own skin. Things might have changed when you looked in the mirror. Don't worry, we're going to get you back to feeling your best so that you're able to get your career, your life, and your family all back on track, right? Getting you feeling your best, right? So all you need to go to is the www.yourcaringdocs.com/society. That's right, yourcaringdocs.com/society. And you'll see our wonderful page outlining everything that you need and you'd like. If you'd like to be part of it, just, hit that button. If you'd like to have a discovery call with me, I will also leave the link here, right? We'll also leave the link to that wonderful video that Dr. Adam Harrison talked about leadership and coaching and how coaching helps you to become a better leader. All right, for those of you guys who have taken the time out from your lunch to watch us, thank you so much. I'm going to let Dr. Harrison go back to bed. So your wife,
no chance. Got the kids to sort out, yeah.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. So much. It's been so much fun catching up with my friend again. And as with everything, I always share all my great friends with you all. Thank you so much for watching us on Your Caring Docs, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Dr. Beckford.